In this lesson, we're going to look at what are the errors and mistakes that Chat GPT makes. And yes, believe it or not, the idea that the content from Chat GPT isn't the best is not only Google's, it's generally comme ci, comme ça, what our friends from France say. There are weird things that can happen when you ask Chat GPT to create content for you. A couple of those weird things, let's go and check them out directly in the chat. Let's go and let's say, can you give me a list of all holidays in Austria? When I was preparing content for a website where I have lists of holidays for different countries, I figured out that ChatGPT has no idea which are really holidays in a country or not. Because ChatGPT is a language programming system, it has no idea if it does stuff right or not. It doesn't really care about if the content is right or not. What it cares about is giving you an answer to your question. And the problem with it is that the answer to your question can be wrong, and it knows how to create the answer so that it sounds plausible and it sounds true, even if it's not. And it doesn't care to give you a wrong answer. It just cares about giving you an answer that looks true. And the problem with this is it's incredibly hard to figure out which facts are true or not because they all look true. You have to be a really good expert in some matter to see which of the things that ChatGPT told you are wrong. Looking at these holidays in Austria, it seems that it created that the answer is all right. My experience was that when it created such a table with all of the holidays, it went berserk and it showed stuff that isn't really true. Let's see if it does that true. It's interesting creating all of these lectures here because, of course, the answers that we get from ChatGPT can be different from a second to the other second, even for the same query. So showing you something that I know is going to happen can be problematic because ChatGPT can just decide to answer stuff in a different way. So it seems that it answered here well. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, St. Stephen's, Stefanitag. Is this one? That's all right. I can show you examples from chats that I've done in the past when I ask it to give me a comparison of calories in couscous and rice, where you can see that couscous is supposed to be 3 times denser in calories. But if we check that in Google, we can see that couscous only has 112 calories per 100 grams compared to rice that has 130. So it seems that the answer here is completely wrong. Also, if we ask ChatGPT to provide sources for the content that it is giving us, it always gives us sources. But these sources don't really exist. For example, I can ask him, prepare an argument against abortion with sources, and it gives me the argument. It even gives me the source of the argument with the link to the study. But the study doesn't exist. Right? There's a magazine that's called First Things, and it's an journal, it says here, America's most influential journal of religion and public life. But looking for the name of the study, abortion, and the consistency life ethics, it doesn't exist. There is no such article or book article here. And the same goes for the second source, right? Abortion and the Sanctity of Human Life, but Scott Klausendorf. If I click on the website, it doesn't exist. And I can click on other sources, and none of these sources work. You could say that because it has a database only going back until 2021, those are old, but I've Googled these and they don't exist. So whenever we are looking for very specific facts, we have to fact check them in the same way as we would be with any other source that we are working with, right? And this comes back to what we were talking about in the previous lessons on why is Google not really believing into content generated from AI, because it's often wrong. And you shouldn't be going and using articles and content directly from chatbots in your website. You should fact check them. People should go through them, make sure that they are right, that they're interesting, and that there is something new. And if you are using content like that, it's gonna rank well because it is quality content and not automatically generated content.